Hello and welcome to Catching Up with Carter here on Saddleback College Radio 88.5 HD2. And joining me today again is Ray Golsla and Giovanni Daniels. I'm going to start with Ray. How you doing today?
Doing great. Thank you for having me again, Carter. Always a pleasure.
Always. And then Giovanni, how you doing?
I'm feeling good, man. I went to the gym today, walked my dogs, and now I'm here.
That's great. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Today, we're going to be talking about all the sports news around the world. We're going to be talking about NFL news, NBA news, MLB news, and then we're going to talk about some NASCAR. The Daytona 500 just happened. We're going to talk about all that. We just listened to Ski by Young Thug and Gunna. Next, we're going to have a 1-minute break. We're going to get right into our NFL rumors. We're going to start off with a quote from a Chiefs coach where they say they have Super Bowl fatigue. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. Hello and welcome back to Catching Up with Carter here on Saddleback College Radio 88.5 HD2. And again, I'm joined by Ray Golsla and Giovanni Daniels. We're going to get right into our NFL rumors. We're going to start off with the Chiefs. I said before the break that the Chiefs have Super Bowl fatigue. It says the Kansas City Chiefs' struggles in Super Bowl LAX could potentially be attributed to the team's lengthy postseason runs over the past several years. Henry McKenna of Fox Sports reported that the team may have been dealing with some burnout after reaching 3 consecutive Super Bowls, and that it could have contributed to the team's 40-22 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Do we believe that the burnout is the cause? Ray, what's your thought?
I don't think you can get burnt out of playing in the Super Bowl. It's like the greatest thing to play in as an NFL athlete, To say that they have burnout from, I get, maybe you've had a lengthy season, you've had a tough season, on the players, but to say you're burnt out of going to the Super Bowl, I think teams would die to go there.
No, I get that. There's teams that would 100% die to go there. A team that I love, the Niners, we always want to go back, and we want to go there. Giovanni, what's your thoughts on this? Just the Chiefs saying they're fatigued out.
Honestly, I kind of agree now, that they said, they have burnout. That kind of sounds stupid because, I don't understand how you get tired of winning. That's kind of just something that you always do. But, I understand how, teams always, lose the next year after winning a championship because they're probably, off riding that high of, winning, and then they, let themselves go or whatever. They just have fun, and then the next year maybe they aren't as competitive. But burnout? I don't know.
I don't know either. For me, I don't understand I get it can be long on the players and injuries can happen, but it just doesn't make sense. It's also, the quote says, before the game, a Chiefs coach told me that media members had been asked him if going to the Super Bowls ever got old. It says, and he bluntly said it does. There was legit Super Bowl fatigue from this Chiefs team. It was completely clear in the first half when things escalated quickly. I think it's almost like we're blaming it. Okay, we lost 22-40, right? And pretty much 40-6. And it's okay, let's just blame it on the fatigue. Is that also a thing you might think that they?
100%, I agree with you there. I think that's what they're going to kind of soften the blow, the fact that they collectively played bad.
Yeah, they played really bad in the Super Bowl, and they lost basically, and I said it before, 40-6. They did not really score. Those 2 touchdowns at the end were just random. I mean, they were just basically dead time football. Really, they had Kenny Pickett playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. They sat Jalen Hurts during it, and so it's okay, what are we doing?
Yeah,
we're sitting in there, and so it's what's going on? And going into another player, Travis Kelce, it says his future. It says it will be decided quickly. So Travis Kelce, we know he is the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, and says reportedly they've set a deadline for him it says to make a decision regarding his NFL future. It says according to Nate Taylor and Cale Clinton of The Athletic, if Kelce chooses to retire, the Chiefs, as they head into an intriguing offseason, want to know of his decision around March 14th, according to a team source. Based on the deadline, the Chiefs are going to give Kelce a month to decide his future. One factor in the deadline is an $11.5 million roster bonus due on March 15th. So they're basically okay, are you going to play or not? Because if we're going to get you off the roster, we don't want to pay this money. Do you think this decision, what do you think? Do you think Kelce's coming back? What are we thinking, Ray?
It's a great question. A couple things. His brother is now working in advertisement all over the stuff for the league, So I'm thinking that he might have something in his back pocket. Maybe he wants, to spend some more time with family.
Taylor Swift,
yeah.
Maybe start a family. But I think you gotta keep the man in the game. I think he's gonna stay.
He's a great player, but he is old. he's getting up there in age, and so I could see him retiring. I don't think he's going to go anywhere else. He's going to stay at Chief forever.
Yeah, no.
There's no way.
Retiring is a very real possibility, but I think he's going to stay.
I think he'll stay too, but I do think, I mean, if we're going off it, like, if there's a Taylor Swift, like we're trying to get married type of thing, then maybe he does want to retire, right? We know what happened with Tom Brady and Giselle, so maybe he'll want to get out of the game and
it's
be with
either
them.
football or wife. There's no in between.
There really
what it seems like.
There really isn't. And going into a guy who doesn't have a wife. Okay, sorry, I'm going to go to Rogers because Rogers, he has all these relationship problems. We talked about Danica Patrick last week.
Him out like that.
I'm sorry. But Danica Patrick, we talked about it. We're going to talk about NASCAR later, but, he's had some relationship problems. But it says initially he also has relationship problems with the Jets, I guess, because initially he didn't want out. He didn't want out of the team. He said he wanted to stay. It says, according to Ryan Dunleavy and Steve Helling of the New York Post, Rogers pleaded with the Jets to give him 1 or 2 more years as the starter during his final conversations with team officials. So he wanted to stay, but he's out. He's going to be going somewhere. There's rumors all around. We talked about it last week, the Vikings and different teams to go to, but kind of seems like he's begging to come back. So maybe he's going to try to get back with the Jets again? What are we thinking?
I don't want to say that ship has sailed, but to see him, I guess, going away, I don't think he's going back to the Jets.
No, I don't think he is, but at the same time, he could I'll take a contract cut or something. Like, we're going to have less money and go back and just play one more year. And Devontae Adams, there's been rumors about him leaving too. Is he going to stay? Is he going to leave? Obviously, we know that there's trades that are going around that, Rodgers is going to go somewhere, but no one really wants him. As a team, I wouldn't want him. He's too old. He's almost 40. He's a really old guy.
You have
trying
something
to play.
against him? I mean, you're really laying into it.
Old, no wife.
So, since I was a kid, my parents are huge Vikings fans, so we never liked the Packers. So whenever Rodgers was on screen, there is the bias there, but I do think he is older, okay? That is a big part of it. He's an older guy. He struggles to play on a high level now, as at his age, and playing on the New York Jets. You're never going to play at a high level on the New York Jets. So it's tough. It's a tough sight to see. And I want to go back to the Super Bowl again because there was this picture that I saw, and I put it on your guys' paper that's in front of you. Mm-hmm. And it's career Super Bowl touchdowns. And we have, at the bottom, we have Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, for some reason Nikola Jokic, even though he's in basketball, Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow with 0 career Super Bowl touchdowns.
I think you're missing something. There's also a taco.
Oh, sorry. There's a taco. There's a taco. Sorry,
which also has 0 career Super Bowl touchdowns.
And then Cooper DeJean at the top with 1 touchdown because he had a pick 6. I just want to get some thoughts about this. Obviously, most of these guys are elite NFL QBs and NFL players. Obviously,
especially the taco.
Not the taco.
And the NBA player.
I'm sorry, but not those two. But Cooper DeJean with a touchdown. Obviously, it's kind of a meme here, but it is true. I mean, there's something to say about these guys that are paid boatloads more money than anybody else basically here. Like Cooper DeJean's paid nothing. Obviously, he's a rookie in the NFL and he's on the defensive side, but Justin Herbert's never been to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff's never been to a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott's never been. Oh, no, sorry. Jared has been to 1. But Dak Prescott's never been. Josh Allen's never been. Lamar's never been. Joe Burrow went once and lost. It's like these guys, they're not as, this guy's got a touchdown, so.
It's a crazy thing to look at because when you match up these players, like these are very high-level quarterbacks, and you're matching up to, hey, listen, he made a great play. Okay?
He did.
That was a beautiful touchdown. I'm not trying to dig at that, but this is a very interesting meme you've.
It's an interesting picture just because is that high level of play. I'm kind of trying to compare it into like almost baseball terms. Like it's almost like as if before Ohtani left, mm-hmm. It's like. Obviously his stats are amazing, but him like not playing in the World Series before leaving, it's almost like putting that into context. So Gio, what's kind of your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I feel like this really goes to show that sports are more about like being a team player than it is being like an individual player, because as good of an individual player as you can be, if you don't have a good team with you, you're not going to win, So I feel like that's what this image really speaks to me about. And the taco is really funny. Now I'm hungry and I'm starving.
Why do you have to be all wise, man?
But no, the taco is kind of funny. I didn't even notice it when I first pasted this picture.
It's clear as day.
It's clear. Going into another free agency kind of thing going on around T. Higgins. He's a great wide receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals, and he had a cryptic Instagram post that he posted, and it's no joke, just a white Instagram post, and it says, like with text, it says, "Priorities are rare, options are everywhere," kind of hinting, okay, I want to leave. I want to get out of this area. And I guess he doesn't have options everywhere because today, and it happened today, T. Higgins, he's expected to play under the franchise tag yet again for a second year in a row. And I want to go into a question for you all because the franchise tag has been, I believe, it's been abused by a lot of these, like owners, where they see this talent and they just go, okay, I'm going to franchise tag you over and over and over and over and over again until you request a trade or something. Because they can pay you the league average for that player, and they don't have to pay you a huge contract, which T. Higgins deserves. He's playing at a very high level. Should the franchise tag be limited to a year, like just 1 year, and you can't do it again, like a sequential year? What are we thinking?
If you're going to limit it, I think limit it to more than a year. I think maybe, I want to say 3, but that seems a lot. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 2 is reasonable for that if you want to limit it.
Yeah, 2 years. It's just 2 years in a row, though. It feels bad for the player because they're not getting paid what they believe they deserve. So it's like you're basically stuck. Like this player's stuck. Like they can't, they have to be traded for this guy. Like they can't be signed anymore. So I think it's almost on the greed part. Like the Bengals owners just don't want to pay him. That's just how I say it. Like they just don't want to pay him.
That could be a case, and it also could be a case that they want to keep him. I mean,
oh yeah, I mean they could want to keep him in that way,
and have the greed as well.
Oh yeah, there also is that greed for that trade. And moving into more trade rumors and going over to Gio with this one is Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford for the Rams. He's going to leave, it seems. At this moment in time, there's been some messages from his wife where they're posting on Instagram about, leaving and going different places.
That's when you know it's bad, when the wife starts posting.
Oh,
and then as well, the Giants, they've been in trade conversations, and they have the number 3 overall pick. Adam Schefter said there's no way they're going to trade that 3rd overall pick over to him. But, I mean, if the Rams make a good deal, maybe there's a way that number 3 overall pick goes to the Rams and they get rid of him. I mean, also, Cooper Kupp is in trade rumors to the Giants as well. So they could both just team up at that location. I mean, the Giants have been horrid for the past 2 years. But, I mean, Gio, what's your thought? Like Matthew Stafford leaving this team, leaving the Rams?
It hurts because this man did help the Rams win a ring. And sometimes you just have to move on eventually, even if, this person is close to your heart. You know what I mean? So maybe a trade is a necessary move that the Rams need to make in order to, better the future. But Cooper Kupp is definitely going to hurt my soul for sure.
Cooper Kupp, it's official that he's going to be traded somewhere. We don't know where it is. I'm really hoping that he goes to the 49ers. No, that's weird. But
I don't, actually, That would actually be worst case scenario.
I have to side with Gio on this.
No, I know. It wouldn't really make sense for both teams, but I still would love it as a Niners fan. Just like, yes, we got him. We got him for our team. But to be honest, I want to go into Cooper Kupp because there's been people talking about there's no way he's a wide receiver 1 or a wide receiver 2 on any really teams right now. For main teams, if he's being traded to a high caliber contender, for example, the Bengals, if they did trade away T. Higgins, he would most likely be a wide receiver 2 or 3. If T. Higgins is still there, he's a wide receiver 3 on that team. So is Cooper Kupp a wide receiver 1 for a team that's going to get traded to? What are we thinking, right? Like, is he going to be a wide receiver 1 for any team? Or is he just going to be a wide receiver 2?
I never thought I'd see the day where I said Cooper Kupp is not a wide receiver 1 or 2.
But he could be.
He could be a wide receiver 3. It's very real. I mean, within the recent season, you definitely saw his, skill level decline after his injury. His play time is lowered. He has that potential. He does. But I think you might be. Unfortunately, you might be right. He may not be that same wide receiver 1 that he once was.
Because he really wasn't. It was Puka Nakua's year this year. We watched Nakua rip it up on the field. He did amazing. He crushed everybody. So going over to Gio, I know it's sad when you said it was really sad seeing Cooper Kupp go. Mm-hmm. But if he goes to another team, he's not probably going to be this wide receiver 1. Is there any team that you'd want to see him go to? Is there anybody?
Not in particular. No,
Would you rather just the Rams bring him back again?
No, honestly, I'm not too big of a Rams fan, but I do like those guys. So I just hope that they find a home and succeed well in the future. That's all I really care about.
No, that's the same. I hope for him too. Even as a Niners fan, I do like Cooper Kupp as a guy. I mean, he's been a great player. He was the Triple Crown during what was it? I think it was that Super Bowl year.
I believe so.
So he was the Triple Crown. So amazing player. Amazing player, amazing dude as well.
Just injuries, just
injuries.
really killed it.
No, it's how it is. And now going into the draft, because we've been talking about all these trades, and the number 3 overall pick came up for the Giants. I want to go through. There was a Bleacher Report. They announced a post Super Bowl 2025 NFL mock draft. So I want to go through the first 5. So there's the Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, New York Giants, Patriots, and Jaguars. So number 1, they're saying, we talked about, me and Ray a few weeks ago, that the Tennessee Titans were looking to offload this pick. Like, okay, let's get somebody else to take it. It says Cam Ward. He's going to go to, Miami. Sorry, but Miami team. But Cam Ward going to the Tennessee Titans. And then it says the Browns are going to go with another edge rusher because they're losing Myles Garrett, so Abdul Carter. Then Shedeur Sanders to the Giants. So they're basically not saying that. They're saying Matthew Stafford. There's no way he goes to the Giants. It's going to be Shedeur Sanders. Could we see a live NFL draft trade happen in these first few picks where there's a quarterback being traded to a new team, like the Rams trading this pick, right? Trading for this pick with Matthew Stafford. Could we see that maybe for the number 1 overall pick? Could we see somebody trying to trade for that? What are we thinking, Ray?
First off, I just want to say seeing Matthew Stafford leave the Rams is not something that I expected. That to me, that came out of the blue. Not a little bit, a lot. Straight out of the blue. To see him leave is... Well, that's it puzzles me a little bit. But if I were to see him traded, if in your hypothetical, if you traded a pick, Tennessee maybe. I mean, the Giants need somebody.
I just don't see the Titans trading a number 1 overall pick for over 35-year-old quarterback. Like that is a really risky move, and the Titans don't have a win now mentality, right? Like they need to build their team.
That's a good point.
So this number 1 overall pick could be to you could drop down and get 5-6 picks for it. Like that's almost what I'm thinking for the Titans at this moment. They don't have a great kind of system around them. I mean, Will Levis was horrible. And also number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. It says they're going to be picking Travis Hunter as a corner. So during the NFL season, I was watching because it was just crazy to watch Travis Hunter play. He was almost an Ohtani of the college football world, where everyone was like, okay, how can Ohtani hit and pitch so well? It was the same with Travis Hunter. He could catch the ball so well as also a receiver and a corner. He played both sides of the ball the whole game, basically. And so this heavy of the talent, it says that he's only going to play corner. It's almost like as if Ohtani would go to the league and be like, no, I'm just going to hit. Obviously, he did that this year. We're going to talk more about him being a two-way player later in the show. But, what are we thinking in that perspective, Gio?
I think when you get to higher levels of sports, it gets much harder to do everything. So you just have to focus on one specific thing, or one specific area of the sport. And so I can kind of understand the reasoning why he's not doing both, because that workload would probably be massive. He would have to work with both the offense and the defense. And, even though Ohtani can pitch and hit in baseball, that man is his schedule is probably crazy, and he still gets 8 hours of sleep somehow. So, I mean, his whole day is insanely packed. So, I mean, I can kind of understand if, Travis Hunter doesn't want to or just can't do that amount of work because it's simply impossible. So
it's a little different in the NFL than the MLB, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Ray, because we talked about Travis Hunter for, I feel weeks, 2-3 weeks in a row
100%.
About him. What are we thinking? Going as a corner instead of a receiver, is that the best option?
Is it the best option? I mean, it's a great option for him to stick with one and not do both. I think that's the ideal case. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. He's definitely going to get burnt out if he plays both positions. That's a guarantee. If you can let him select one role and play that role to its fullest, I think he'll be a much better player than if he were to split time. And even then, there's flexibility. He could even move to a couple offensive plays here and there as the team needs. So. Seeing him take that corner spot, I look forward to seeing him play, honestly.
No, I'm excited to see him play. I'm just a little sad because I wanted to see him break the barrier. No one's really done this before. So I was almost excited. Okay, we're going to see him play both sides. Maybe he'll be a returner Maybe he'll be something where he plays something else. We are going to take a 2-minute break, and we're going to come back with all NBA news. We're going to talk about the All-Star Game, then MLB news, and finally, we're going to talk about NASCAR and the Daytona 500. We'll be back in 2 minutes here on Catching Up with Carter, here with Carter Kirchhevel, Ray Golsla, and Giovanni Daniels. Hello and welcome back to Catching Up with Carter here on Saddleback College Radio, 88.5 HD2. We were talking all about the NFL and all about all the rumors around it. We're going to go into the NBA and then MLB and then the Daytona 500 here on Saddleback College Radio, 88.5 HD2. It's me, Carter Kirchhevel, with Ray Golsla and Giovanni Daniels. We're going to start off with NBA news. We're going to go right into the dunk contest, which just happened. It's Max McClung. He won his third dunk contest in a row. He jumped over a car again in this one and did like the whole Blake Griffin, over the car type of dunk. He was amazing. He's an amazing dunker. And I want to go through his career earnings because his career earnings are $132,000, which are great, right, for being a G League player. But he has made $310,000 just from the dunk contest. You show up one night. He shows up one night 3 years in a row, and he makes triple what he's making in his career. Should he just go into dunking? What are we thinking? Just go to do his dunking all for full time?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the NBA should just start getting random people off the streets to start doing these all-star festivities. If Mac McClung can do something crazy like this, then why not get anybody, anybody who's a gifted athlete.
But here's the thing. Max McClung is an amazing player in the G League. Mm-hmm. He is a G League champion, a G League MVP. I don't understand why he's not in the NBA. I don't know if it's just some team just doesn't want him to play. I don't know. It's weird. I would love to see him play. I think he'd do some crazy dunks in game too. So it'd be exciting to say the least for Max McClung to do that in the league. And we're going to go through the All-Star format. They did a brand new format this year where they had 4 different teams. They had everybody kind of draft different teams. There was Team Chuck, Team Kenny, and Team Shaq. And it ended up Team Shaq won. There was also some rising stars that were also in there, but nothing too crazy to say that there wasn't a really great game in this. And they went to only 40 points in each of these games. So only almost 70 points total in each game. And the last game was 41-25. It was the worst game of the whole entire time. I mean, the Shaq OGs, that's what they call themselves, got the dub 41-25, and Curry won the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP trophy in the Golden State, in their stadium. But what do we think about this All-Star format? It just seems horrible.
Shaq's OGs.
Shaq's OGs. That's
great
their
team
name.
Okay, great team name.
Hey, it's Shaq's OGs. They had Kenny's Young Stars. They had Chuck's Global Stars.
Never mind.
I'm sorry,
Horrible team name.
There's just no reason to watch it. I don't know. As a casual fan, I'm just not interested at all by the All-Star game.
It's really boring. It's a really boring format because I went and sat down on the couch. I said, okay, my roommates are like, oh, put it on, because usually the All-Star game, it's boring, but it's usually long enough that we're sitting there for an hour and we're enjoying the game. There's someone who's just shot a half court. But it's okay, 41 points total. It's only going up to 40 points in each game. There was less than an hour of playtime for basketball in this entire All-Star weekend. Less than an hour of basketball during the basketball All-Star weekend. That's just, it baffles me that we're trying out formats that have so little basketball for an all-star basketball game. Sorry, I'm ranting a little bit, but is the original format better? Should we just go back to the original format?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should just go back to it?
100%.
Gio, what are we thinking, though?
I don't know. I'm kind of siding with Kevin Durant on this one because he had a quote where he said maybe they should just think of canceling it altogether if everyone keeps complaining about how trash it is. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe he's
Maybe
right.
just do it, right?
Maybe he's right.
I don't know. Canceling it is a hard sell because it's okay, these guys, they work so hard during this year. Let's get them all to have fun. It's almost, the NFL Pro Bowl is a good example, right? They changed it because no one was trying to flag football, which it's not super fun to watch, but it's better than what I watched for the All-Star game. I liked watching them. They had fun. They threw the ball around. They started pitching the ball back and forth. It's a fun watch, right? This just felt very underwhelming. There was really nothing going on. And even LeBron James and Anthony Edwards, both of them didn't play. LeBron said he had foot discomfort and didn't play, which is okay, whatever. I'm gonna
I've had that before. It's pretty severe.
Okay.
Yeah, I stubbed my toe.
okay, that's what I'm saying. It almost feels like he stubbed his toe before he walked in, and he's like, okay, I'm not going to play, right? And, he's been an all-star for how many years, but it's tough. It's a tough sell because then later in the time, like later in the day, or I think it was even if it was the day before, but it was the NHL did the Canada versus USA game, which was in Canada. USA's anthem got booed. Okay. Ooh. And then there were 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game between USA and Canada.
I love hockey.
They were fighting, throwing each other on the glass. Now, this is like what I want to watch when it's like an all-star game, right? So people are talking about in the NBA, why don't we do like USA versus global? Like the USA players versus the global stars. Because there's a ton of global stars like Luka, Nikola Jokic, you even got Shea from Canada. Do that format instead? Would that work? Would that make them? I mean, it's a little different than.
That is really interesting. It's not necessarily a Pro Bowl or like an All Stars game, but it could be like kind of like a super team kind of thing.
It would make it more exciting
and competitive, in my opinion.
I think so.
Like it would actually mean something. Like there's the All Star game means nothing right now. Nothing. It's just like a weekend of like.
And I don't know. Now you guys might have more info on this. Do the players really enjoy playing in that All-Star game?
It really didn't look like.
Well, Kevin Durant saying that, his quote saying, "Well, why don't they just not have it?" That's already right there. And there's even there was Victor Wembanyama and Chris Paul. There was memes going around everywhere. There was a skills competition, and during the skills competition, they cheated the skills competition, and they got up to the line. There was a rack of basketballs, and they just chucked them at the basket to go as fast as possible.
Definitely Chris Paul's idea.
Yeah, definitely was Chris Paul's idea.
No doubt.
No doubt that. But it's like, okay, no one's trying, even in our skills showdowns. No one's trying in our game. Let's just do something different. Let's try out a USA versus global format. Because even there's like a meme that I wrote down as well. It says the NFL says the Pro Bowl will now feature a casual game of flag football. NBA, please guys, can we at least just make it look like we're trying to play defense? And the NHL, we will leave the exhibition broken and bloody. It's like, okay,
yeah,
this
NHL's
is an
different, man.
exhibition match. It's like, okay, what's going on here? USA won 3-1. Just letting you know the USA won. But I feel like this could be something to go for, for the NBA to try to amp it up a little bit. That's just what I'm thinking there. Now, going back to one more NBA rumor, kind of passed on it right away, but it's Adam Silver. He was talking about the Luka Doncic trade, and he said that it was in the best interest of the Mavericks. He said, I was surprised when I heard about the trade, Silver said, per Vincent Goodwill of Yahoo Sports. I'm empathetic. I understand it. Dallas was in the finals last year. I'm sympathetic to the Mavs organization. They did what was in the best interest of their organization. Now, I disagree with this 100%. I'm like, okay, this is the best interest of the Mavericks. Now, I'm almost thinking, is he saying it in a GM perspective rather than a coach's perspective? So I'm going to go to Gio with this because I know Luka Doncic to the Lakers, it affects you a little bit more. So what's your thoughts on Adam Silver's take?
Honestly, I feel like he's kind of just trying to save face for the Mavericks because, they've got so much bad PR within the last 2-3 weeks because of this trade. Everything seems to be falling apart. So I think Adam Silver's just trying to cover for them. Because I remember earlier, reading him saying, he was confused about the trade still. So
which I get.
Yeah, which, everybody gets. So as the commissioner, it's kind of his job to, protect his organization. So that's kind of just, I don't really take what he says, I take it with a grain of salt pretty much.
It makes sense, okay, that he would say this to save face for the Mavericks. But I'm almost thinking, because when there was a veto of a trade earlier, not when Adam Silver was the head of the NBA, there was a veto of a trade. I don't remember what it was, but it was a very substantial trade. Now, why doesn't Adam Silver do this now? In my opinion, this trade was very one-sided. Very one-sided. You're losing a 25-year-old talent. Maybe they just saw it and was like, okay, this will be good traction, right? But if that's what we're really going for, is that really the integrity of the league? In my opinion, there should be some talk about this trade from Adam Silver's perspective that, it's not so fair. That's just how I gotta say it. It's not so fair.
I definitely think that there should be competitive issue talks if the Lakers start winning repeat championships over and over again, the Mavericks are just down the basement. I definitely think there should be talks of competitive balance and I don't know, maybe allowing it so the commissioner can veto trades, like if they think it's going to ruin the competitiveness of the league, because like I don't know, man, this is pretty bad how it's turning out for the Mavericks right now. Like 80 already injured, and I don't know, it's not looking too hot.
Going over to Ray here. What's your take?
I'm with you on this. I think he's saving face. He represents that league, and I think another thing of being a GM, it's a little more on the politics as opposed to the game, So
yes,
I'm not going to say anything about politicians, but they tend to speak in general and protect themselves and others, and just be very put a blanket over everything. So
Adam Silver, he has to protect the NBA,
yeah,
right? He can't, say, okay, this is whatever it is, right? What it is, right? It's a very lopsided trade. It happens in sports, right? There's different trades that go on, but it is, of course, you're right. There is that aspect of politics. Like, you have to make it so it doesn't sound like you're bashing one team and bashing another, right? So I get the talk on this, but at the same time, I don't, right? Because it just doesn't make sense.
To me, this just leaves me, every time this gets brought up, I just get more confused.
Right.
It makes less and less sense.
Right, like I want to stop talking about it eventually,
right?
Like,
maybe in 2 weeks.
I feel like
3 weeks.
Honestly, though, I don't know if we can ever like stop talking about it, because it's just so like mind-boggling that this even happened. Like,
it is mind-boggling. It's wild that it happened, and I don't think anybody's going to stop talking about it. I don't think until the end of the NBA season, I don't think anybody will talk about it. If the Lakers make a run or the Mavericks make a run, this will be talked about again.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Because if the Lakers go in and they, make it to like a Western Conference Finals, or even make it to the finals or something like that, or at the opposite, if the Mavericks make it that far, then everyone's going to be, talking all about this all over again. How we talked about how it's a horrible trade for the Mavericks, and maybe they do well. So we have no clue, but we're going to go away from the NBA because we're going to have so much more time to talk about the NBA. Obviously, this All-Star break, but once the NBA ramps up, we're going to be talking about it more. Now, the MLB is starting up, and Gio here, he's got on his referee outfit today, his umpire outfit. So as Ray said before the show.
Strike!
Yes, strike.
I didn't want to say it on the show.
Yes, but I just want to say it because,
Carter.
It's getting me in the baseball spirit. So we're going to go
Is it
into
now?
Yes, it is. It is. It's got the
maybe
baseball
I should bring
colors.
the mask next time.
Okay, maybe you'll have to. But I think the MLB.
Easy now, easy now.
Okay. We're going to get into instead of unk, we're going to do unk.
Yeah.
But we're going to go into MLB news because you want to talk about it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about Ohtani right away because it says he qualifies to play both ways this coming season. Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani qualifies as a two-way player in the eyes of MLB despite being unable to pitch in 2024 thanks to a change in the eligibility rule. The Athletics' Fabian Ardiata, sorry if I butchered that name. Sorry, you got that right. And Ken Rosenthal confirmed a player can now get two-way status on the basis of his usage over the past 2 seasons. Ohtani threw 132 innings and had 599 plate appearances with the Angels in 2023, so he far exceeded the minimum qualifications for this. So we're seeing the Dodgers, they've got already all this talent around them. Now we've got my man Ohtani going in, and he's going to be able to play both ways. What's this impact on the Dodgers season?
Yeah, I mean, the Dodgers are going to be very, very... They just won a World Series, and then they added way more. Ohtani's going to be at full 100% power. Hopefully, doesn't get injured. Knock on wood.
You better knock on wood right now.
I'm knocking on wood right now, okay?
As a Dodgers fan?
I'm not a Dodgers fan. Come on.
It's still. Of course, you're gonna root for your guy, right? I would root for my guy too. Even like, okay, Deebo Samuel's leaving the Niners. I'm gonna root for him forever.
I mean, imagine the love of your life broke up with you.
Okay,
right?
That's
you're never gonna forget that.
So are you gonna slash his
No one will
tires?
ever be as good as her.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not slashing no tires, okay? I'm gonna be like, come back, please.
He's not gonna come back though. It makes no sense.
Oh, don't tell me that.
But it is still a, in the sense for the Dodgers. They're already high-power talent. They've already got everything they need. They already won a World Series. Are they going back-to-back? I mean, it looks like they are, right?
Baseball's weird, man. Like, over the past decade, we've seen the Dodgers over and over again be the best team in the league and have nothing to show for it except for a COVID win until last year is when they started winning. And now everyone's like, oh, the Dodgers, it's unfair all of a sudden. And now it's like, I don't know. If they do start winning a lot, then maybe I'll join that conversation. But it's baseball. Anything can happen. You can have the greatest team in the world, and still they might have a bad streak and lose in 6 games or something like that in like the NLDS or whatever.
The Major League Baseball is so different to really any other sport in that sense, right? Your high-powered talent, even if you have the best team, you can still lose. You can still lose to some teams. It's different because in basketball or in the NFL, it feels like if you have the best talent, you're pretty much going to win. Like the Eagles in the NFL have the best talent. They're going to win the Super Bowl, right? So it almost feels like, it's a little different in baseball, right? We got the Dodgers. They could go back-to-back. But as you said, there could be that streak that ends it right away.
I fully expect them to be first place and make the postseason, but the second playoff starts, it's honestly kind of up in the air for me.
It's up in the air. And even, what was it? I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago, the Diamondbacks made it all the way.
And they were a wild card team, the 6th seed or 5th seed, I think.
So that's the excitement, coming up with baseball. We got these teams that it doesn't really matter really how it starts. I'm wearing my Giants hat right now, crying in pain that the Dodgers are doing so well. But at the same time, I can't deny how good they are. I really can't. So I'm excited to see what they do with Ohtani coming back, two-way player, having such just high-powered talent. I mean, they got I love Freddie Freeman. I'm sorry, I just got to bring him up. I love Freddie Freeman.
Can I be honest with y'all? I'm not a Dodgers fan, and I tried to hate them. But, man, they're players. I love them. Mookie Betts,
awesome.
Freddie Freeman, Shohei. How can you hate them?
That's the thing.
I can't hate them.
You can't hate the Dodgers anymore. Not like you used to be able to.
Right. I actually don't hate them. I mean, I might not like the fans, and I'm sorry to anybody listening who's a Dodger fan, but, I don't know. Y'all are just spoiled. And I'm just jealous. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I get it.
The Angels haven't been spoiled in a while.
I feel the same way. The Giants have been struggling the past few years. I know we had all those.
You feel the same way?
But I feel the same way now. I'm not saying before because we
I've
have
been
had
feeling
wins.
this way for decades, man.
Okay, but we're gonna go into another team that could maybe compete with the Dodgers this year.
Oh, they definitely will.
You're going to say it already, the New York Mets. So the New York Mets, they added Juan Soto, and he says, though, he doesn't want to be the guy for them. He kind of wants the team to, go around him and play together. So he says, I don't think I have to be the guy, Soto said Sunday. Per MLB's Anthony DiComo, I'm not trying to do more than I've done in the past. I'm just, going to keep being the same guy, try to do the same thing I've been doing year after year. So obviously he's a high-powered talent. Juan Soto's amazing. But for this Mets team, they're also great. They made it really far, and they just missed it. They just missed the mark to make it all the way. So what are we thinking? Juan Soto on this team, could they compete?
Yes, for sure. I think this quote is more of him saying that the players around him are so good that he doesn't have to be the main person contributing to the offense every day because there's so many good so much talent around him like Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso's back. So I definitely see why he said that he doesn't need to be that guy every night, but he for sure will be.
He will be.
Juan Soto, what he did to the Yankees, he brought them to the World Series basically because I don't know, they were just missing that piece, that offense piece, that consistent piece that would drive them and be clutch in situations where they would need it the most, and I think that's what the Mets need.
Now I got a quote from Francisco Alvarez. He says, I think we are better than the Dodgers lineup.
No shot.
No shot?
No shot.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but the Dodgers just have so much depth. It just keeps going. And the Mets have some great pieces, but they don't have a Shohei Ohtani. They don't have a Freddie Freeman. They don't have a Mookie Betts.
They don't.
So I personally think the Dodgers are
they could meet, though. They definitely could meet and really compete against each other,
Dream NLCS is a rematch of last year.
Same thing.
And, I think it could go either way. I think it'd be a really fun series. But Dodgers and six.
Dodgers is going to win. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're going to go all the way away from the big three. We're going to go away from, because we talk about the NFL, NBA, and then MLB. We're going to go to a sport that is a little different. And we're going to have Ray, you're going to lead this for us. It's about the Daytona 500. So I want to give you the mic. Go ahead and tell us what happened.
Before I get into that, may I just say, Juan Soto, from the Padres to all the way to New York is just, the kid's gone. He's gone a long way. I just want to say that, he's an amazing player, and I'm happy for him.
Sorry that I didn't get you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just want to say I'm happy for the guy either way. I know a lot of people are a big fan of him, I was saving your PR right there.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, moving on to Daytona 500, this past Sunday, 67th Great American Race. Starting off the NASCAR season with a rain delay of 3.5 hours.
Now, that is boring. That's boring.
They did everything from interviewing everybody. We saw
My boy was interviewed.
Hold on.
My boy was interviewed. You're getting there.
We'll get there. I mean, they did everything, man. We watched the last season's race. We got interviews with all the players. We were watching trucks go out on the track with like blowers. And for you, Carter, there was I figured out who this guy was on Sunday. This gentleman,
Like most fans, I'm sure.
Like, gentleman, yes.
Most NASCAR fans, I agree.
Like most people,
probably.
honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think most people though. He's
honestly,
famous.
yeah, you're right.
Is
The
that
Rizzler is
the
huge.
Rizzler? Yes.
The Rizzler. He was on Jimmy Fallon. He was on Jimmy Fallon.
That is,
Yeah, honestly,
that is,
he's a household name.
Is he now?
That's crazy.
I figured out who he was on Sunday after
He's
he
cool.
was,
he does the wrist face.
Yeah, he showed
Tried
us
to
how
do
to
the
do
wrist
that on
face in
live
the
TV.
studio
Yeah,
really
no, he
fast.
got a nice pair of gloves from one of the racers. He was, showing off how to do the wrist face.
The wrist face.
Am
I just
saying
can't
that right?
believe he's not related to.
He is not related to Big AJ and Big Justice.
That's
no, he's
just-
not. But okay, moving away from
Sorry.
all the stuff, let's go back to the Daytona 500.
It opened
now.
up with a performance from Pitbull, Mr. Music Guy. I thought you
Love
would
Pitbull.
get a kick out of that, Gio. Mr. Worldwide at the International Speedway. So
Yeah, I got a great kick of that. What do you mean?
I don't know,
Why would
dude.
I get a kick out of that?
You big music guy. I assume you'd know something. This year was really interesting because we had 41 cars racing. One of them had a special ticket from NASCAR. He's an IndyCar racer, Brazilian, and unfortunately he got wiped out pretty early with one of the crashes. But it was really interesting to hear his story and watch some of the stuff he was going. But before I get to more of that, obviously big news. I think this is only maybe third or fourth time a president has made it out to the NASCAR Daytona 500. But President Trump was there. Took out his what they called the Beast.
I love
it's
that
like
name.
that.
That's a really funny name.
His Cadillac that's like decked out to the max. Took a couple laps, went on the radio, wished everybody well, which was nice. For all the Marvel fans out there, the new Captain America, Anthony Mackie. Was he was named the Grand Marshal, so he announced the driver, start your engines, the whole thing. So that was really cool to see him out there, but. The race was some people. There's mixed opinions. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of give you an overview. The winner from last year pulled it through and did a back-to-back, but he was in 9th place when in I believe the final lap.
Oh wow! So he
9th
made
place
it
in the-
really tough. No, he didn't.
There was a collision. First 8 cars just got slowed down to the max. 2 of them taken out.
Oh
I think
goodness!
2 or 3 were DNF.
Oh my gosh! The Chiefs are in the Daytona
I
500.
know, right?
Oh my goodness!
This guy pulled
I'm
through.
just joking.
William Byron won back-to-back in his Chevy, and happy for the guy. He's a really humble guy. He's a great racer, but I think a lot of people were confused as to
Like him winning.
him
again,
winning.
Right?
Yeah, it was a little bit out of the blue.
It's tough.
Yeah,
It's
there
a
was
tough way to go.
couple crashes. I think the biggest one of the cars went up in the air.
Oh jeez.
Got caught on the side, went up in the air, took a tumble, flipped over, slid.
Man, I am not a NASCAR fan, and this is probably a little insensitive to say, but that sounds so interesting. Like to
No,
watch.
it does. It does sound
Most
interesting.
people sleep on NASCAR, like, oh, you're driving in a circle. Some
Well,
tracks aren't a circle, but
I mean, I just think like the car crashes make it like really exciting, even though it's very, very dangerous.
I think it's the same as like Formula One because there are a chance of crashes. Obviously, you want to see the fast-paced racing. Even in NASCAR, the same thing. But that is also a portion of why people do watch it. It's like if no one was, if there wasn't any dogfighting, as they say, like dogfighting between the cars, it wouldn't be exciting, right? Like it would just be going in circles as people say it is. So. Ray, I appreciate you telling us all about the NASCAR Daytona 500. And that is the end of our time here on Catching Up with Carter. I want to say a thank you to Ray Golsla and Giovanni Daniels. Thank you guys so much for coming on to the show, giving all your takes and all of just the different information that we wanted to talk about here on Catching Up with Carter, here on Saddleback College Radio, 88.5 HD2. We have 2 songs for you all. We have the Scotts and Glock coming up on the show. We're going to listen to those 2 songs. And then you got the Jeffing Jeffrey show right after. So do not go anywhere from 5 to 7. He is on the air here on Saddleback College Radio, 88.5 HD2. And I hope to see you next time.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.